Maxie, I've been thinking, should we do season 3 on the Dr. Joe show? You sure? You sure it's a good idea? Welcome to the Dr. Joe Show. I'm Joe, and today we are doing Cigar Review number 41, Diamond Crown. This is one I've been waiting to get to for a while. Luckily, being that we've been doing our JC Newman brand history multi-episode extravaganza, we're getting to it right now. Big cigar, big luxury cigar. And we're going to get further into the JC Newman brand history we've been covering. Almost up to the end, pretty close, but not quite there yet. So, without any further ado, let's get smoking. Diamond Crown. You know, this is an odd smelling cigar in a way. Number one, it's the realest deal you can get as far as a Connecticut wrapper goes. Very expensive to grow Connecticut wrapper. Extremely expensive. There was an article online, and you know what, I'm not gonna guess, I forgot the exact number, but they interviewed a farmer, and this was probably over a decade ago, and they measure by the hectare, or 2.5 acres, and the price he gave as far as how much it costs him to produce Connecticut wrapper from seedling up to harvest per hectare was unbelievable. Very expensive stuff to manufacture, and at one time the most sought after tobacco in the United States. This cigar has a very strange aroma. The first thing you might note before getting past it is that it smells a little bit papery. But right under that, it has a nutty tone to it and a very slight smell of what I would call stinky cheese. Don't laugh, really. Has a bit of this stinky cheese smell, and it's very interesting. Very interesting. The foot smells a little more barny, a little more salty, a little more bullion-y, but the wrapper, paper and stinky cheese and roasted nuts. But this is the Diamond Crown Robusto No.3. The way the line is laid out is a little strange. This is a 6.5 inch by 54 ring gauge cigar. Obviously not your typical Robusto size. But the way they have it laid out is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all Robustos. They get shorter as the line goes down, or they're all named Robusto, number 1, 2, 3, 4. Shorter as the line goes down, but they're all a 54 ring gauge, except for the Figurado. And then there's the number 7 Pyramid, which is a long pyramid, which is also a 54 ring gauge. So all Diamond Crowns are rated at a 54 ring gauge except the Figurado, which I believe is the number 6. Let's cut this bad boy up. Going to use my trusty polio cutter here. Just the cap on this one, guys. Just the cap on this one. Winey. Winey right away. A little tangy. Tongue on the filler reveals a surprising amount of twang and salt. Winey flavors, a slightly sour but very pleasant note. Delicious. Nutty. Very nutty. A little weedy, a little woody. I detect a little cedar. No sweetness yet, really. But so far, so good. Really, really nice on the pre-draw. Really nice. Surprisingly twangy. And the initial, before my tongue hit the filler, the initial intake of air revealing this winey flavor in my mouth. Very, very nice. Very nice. Sophisticated. Ooh, it's getting deeper already as it's getting wet. Sophisticated. Complex. Very nice. All right. Let's roast this guy up. Ah, there we go. Oh, so nice. Whew. Now, number one, you're seeing why I chose to smoke the Centrofino Sun-Grown in lieu of the Centenario. Didn't want to do two mild Connecticut cigars back to back, especially when I would be smoking a very good Connecticut cigar after. I don't generally smoke many mild non-Cuban cigars. I do smoke a good number of mild Cuban cigars, being that I love La Gloria Cubana and other mild brands, but oh wow, that is something. That is something. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Now, I've got to be honest with you guys. This has been in my LE Blue humidor for a long time. You know, and being that we're reviewing all different cigars and we're going to be reviewing a lot more cigars, I don't see why it's a problem if once in a while I choose to smoke one that has a little age on it. It has been in the cellophane the whole time, which statistically, and they have this as a statistic, how accurate it is, who knows, but supposedly aging is slowed by 70% with cellophane. I don't know. I think it's very different, being that the cellophane really does keep in a lot of the byproducts and keeps the oxygen away. Might actually make cigars age better over the long run. Slower, but better. But guys, this is something else. This is different. How long has it been in my LE Blue humidor? At least 7 years. At least. I remember specifically, and there was a Diamond Crown Pyramid number 7 next to this guy. I picked them both up at the same time when I first landed my cigar job at the cigar shop. No, so this is older than 7 years. I worked there for 6 years. The shop closed in 2013. Oh boy. So 8, 9 years? This cigar has some age on it, and let me tell you, outstanding. Outstanding light. Outstanding draw. Billows of smoke. Creamy, dense, rich smoke. It has a twang to it. A Cuban-esque twang. It's a little dull. It has a flavor of really good cheese. I cannot lie. I cannot describe it any other way. It has this really cheesy flavor. You know, like an aged Gouda or something. It's just very, very odd and very, very complex. At the same time, it's subtly sweet. I'm detecting slight hints of vanilla. Oh man, very good. No spice at all. No youth at all. No grassiness, no hay, none of that. Nutty, rich, deep, complex, creamy, wonderful. Now don't go running out and saying, my Diamond Crown didn't taste like yours. Like I said, this thing is almost 10 years old. It may have a lot to do with this. This may be, maybe I've discovered something here. Maybe this is a cigar that really, really, really ages well. The wrapper is in fact called a, exclusive CFW trademark, registered trademark wrapper. That stands for Connecticut Fermented Wrapper. Now it's funny using the word fermented, being that all tobacco is fermented to one extent or another. What they mean is that it's extra fermented. And once I got a hold of it, I extra fermented them. So, honestly, folks, I feel like shutting the camera off and just sitting here and relishing this. Great cigar. But, alas, we have some work to do. Let me put it down, and let's get busy.
The aromatic annual called tobacco.
It is 1986. JC Newman had passed away years earlier, and Stanford Newman, JC Newman's son, stepped to the side to let his sons, Eric and Bobby Newman, start running the family business. But they weren't done. Stanford wasn't done. He wanted to acquire the entire company for his side of the family. So he bought out all the remaining interest that his brother Millard Newman had in the company, as well as the interest his two sisters held. He buys the entire company, and that same year he meets Carlos Fuente. This is huge. As you know, today JC Newman cigars are made by the Fuentes. At the behest of Stanford Newman, the first thing that Carlos Fuente does for them is to create a cigar line by the name of La Unica. La Unica was a value brand cigar, but still a premium cigar. Stanford wanted a cigar that was considered premium class, but affordable. What they came up with was a good cigar put together in bundles without all the packaging, the ribbons, the cedar boxes, all of that stuff, in order to cut costs so people could buy them at a lower price. The brand became the top-selling bundle cigar brand in the United States of America. La Unica is actually still available in one form or another today, and it is still made by the Fuentes. You can buy it online at Tampa Sweethearts. Now, the relationship between the Fuentes and the Newmans is established. Several years go by, a decade, until 1995. This is a very significant year. Why? Well, JC Newman Cigar Company was established in 1895, which makes 1995 its 100th anniversary. 1995 is special for another reason in cigar history. The cigar boom. Big year. This is a chance for JC Newman Cigar Company to say, here we are, we're 100 years old, and here's a cigar that the likes of which you've never smoked before. Something incredible. That cigar was what I'm smoking now. Diamond Crown. They did something else that year too. They finally changed the name of the company back. Right up until that point, JC Newman Cigars was still M&N Cigars. So 1995, JC Newman becomes JC Newman once again, and Diamond Crown, courtesy of the Fuentes, is born. This cigar propelled JC Newman to great heights. You know, the cigar boom was one of those years where even big companies could fall. You know, a lot of little guys coming in, sucking up business, tobacco droughts, big problems. Being friends with the Fuentes at this point was a huge benefit, a huge plus. So this could have been a very hard time, but because of the assistance of the Fuentes, the fact that they were 100 years old, and the release of what they call an ultra premium cigar into the cigar community, Diamond Crown had never been seen before, and here it is. Connecticut wrapper is very popular also, very popular, and they made use of that by using a special version of that wrapper. First third started out with shocking flavors. Flavors that I haven't found in a mild Dominican cigar in a long time. Just really complex. Really complex. This, like I said, this flavor of like aged Gouda cheese with a little added salt. Some vanilla-esque notes, some floral type notes, a little bit of cedar. No spice at all. Nutty, and at this point getting a little more almondy as the heat in the cigar picks up. The way the ash fell off was beautiful. It leaves me with a little bit of a buffer on here, so the smoke, the air coming in gets cooled a little and keeps the smoke nice and cool. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. You know, I wouldn't change a thing about the first third of this cigar. Not a thing. So, in 1998, moving away from the release of the Diamond Crown, in 1998, the Newmans did something else that was very different. They opened up a cigar bar at Tropicana Field. This was the first, and to date, as far as I know of, the only cigar bar at any MLB stadium. Here, you can see the ingenuity behind Newman's thinking. They're a cigar company, not just a cigar brand. Here you can see the kind of corporate thinking, money-making mentality behind the company. Not that that's a bad thing. That's what companies do. This is capital America, you know? But, hell, shit. I wish there were more cigar bars. If there was a cigar bar at Yankee Stadium, I might fucking go once in a while, you know? But you can't smoke anywhere these days. So, that's an awfully nice thing. Only a few years later, the Cuesta Rey Centenario collection was released. So there's that. Also in the 90s, JC Newman Company teamed up with craftsman Reed and Barton to form Diamond Crown humidors. That's who makes those humidors when you're looking at a Diamond Crown humidor. You know, it's not like when you say, oh, it's a Diamond Crown humidor, that's not the same thing as saying it's an LA Blue humidor or a Michael Dixon or a Daniel Marshall, because Diamond Crown is not the person who made the humidor, you know? The humidors are made by a company, Reed and Barton. They also have a less expensive line, Craftsman's Bench, which is a very, very big selling, because they're inexpensive. At this point, they became the biggest distributor of humidors, the biggest seller of humidors in the United States. Mostly due to Craftsman's Bench, I would say. Because Diamond Crown, while high quality and popular, it's the Craftsman's Bench line that is just in every catalog and all over the internet and just sells like hotcakes, you know? They make really nice humidors for under $100. Alright, Diamond Crown, our second third. I'm just going to take the band off here. Just a little flick. There we go. Easy as pie. Beautifully assembled. Wonderful cigar so far. Oh, very, very nice. I'm going to set the cigar down so you can see it there. Our second third, flavors deepen up. We have these wonderful, creamy, wine-type notes that just keep flowing through the entire cigar. Really, really nice. We have nutty flavors becoming more almondy. We have underlying hints of vanilla and cedar. Very slight, subtle hints. I have a bit of an effervescent tingle opening up at the tip of the tongue, and it's there constantly. It's not spicy, it's not a spice, it's just this feeling of taste buds doing a little dance, you know? It's really, really something. And underneath it all is this low, deep, bassy kind of tanginess. And it just reminds me of a well-aged Gouda. I said it before. It just has this cheese-type characteristic to it. Fantastic cigar. Fantastic cigar. When I smoke them new, they're very, very good. And some of these flavors are present. You know, they've always had this kind of sweeter side to them with the vanilla cedar type stuff going on. But something has happened to this cigar over the past years in my humidor. That is undeniable, because, you know, who would have thought that I would be so surprised by a Diamond Crown? I've smoked plenty of them. Have I ever smoked an old Diamond Crown, an aged one? No. This is my first time doing that. So I think it's great to do it on the show, because not only does it say, hey, Diamond Crown is a good cigar either way. If you like mild cigars with a sweeter side to them, if you like Connecticut shade wrappers, there's really no better cigar you can get with a genuine Connecticut shade wrapper. It's a fine cigar. On the other hand, if you're looking for Dominican cigars to age, here we go. I have a perfect example right here of a cigar that has done magnificently well in the humidor over the past, like I said, somewhere between 7 and 10 years. That's our second third, and as far as our Diamond Crown, or JC Newman rather, brand history goes, we are now up to the cusp of the 21st century. Now, I could just go running, barging on into that, and finishing it off. However, there is one more cigar that we just have to cover. Okay, good. And we could always do a short review on more JC Newman cigars some other time, but since we're on it now, we might as well try to get the big guns out of the way. We will finish up this cigar, give the final rating, and then we will come back one more time to wrap up the 21st century years of our JC Newman Company brand history, while we smoke one of the most resounding names when it comes to non-Cuban cigars in humidors across the USA. So that should be a lot of fun. We have to cover it. We just have to. So, as you can see, the last third of our cigar is finished, and it was fantastic. It didn't really change too much from the second third, except for some added, very light coffee type notes, just a little bit of extra strength, some very, very mild wood and leather at the very end, but just a touch, just a little something different to finish the cigar off with. But overall, it maintained its flavor throughout the entire third, even at the very tiny, still smoldering nub I have here. It just kept on giving this wonderful creamy flavor. Excellent cigar. Let's do the final rating. Alright, folks. So, what a cigar. Let's go over our final rating. Appearance, a 1. Beautiful looking cigar, one of the most gorgeous Connecticut wrappers I've ever seen. And you know, the funny thing is, Diamond Crown cigars don't always look that way. Sometimes the wrappers can be a little pale, have a bit of a yellowish hue to them, a little spotty, a little veiny, but this one was right on the money. Burn, construction, draw, all a perfect one, not a single problem. You know, the edge wasn't razor sharp, but there was never a moment where I thought, uh-oh, it's gonna do something wrong. This is, you know, just perfect. Draw was great, a little bit of resistance, big, thick cloudy, creamy piles of smoke coming out of the thing, just fantastic. Pre-draw flavor, a 1. Everything I like to see in a pre-draw. Flavor right off the bat before you even light the cigar. Not only that, but fairly complex flavor. Overall flavor, a 1.75. Dynamite, outstanding, complex, all sorts of different notes going on. I loved it. I'm not going to go over them all right now again. You can watch the review if you haven't to see what I found. It was just great. And on top of everything, complex. Very complex. Why did I knock off a 0.25? The only downside of the cigar at all was through the nose. Through the nose, the cigar was harsh, you know, and this is the problem with cigar. It's funny, you know, Cuban tobacco, it goes through the nose and it's smooth as butter. Now, I've smoked a lot of Cuban cigars that weren't as good as this cigar, but you put them through your nose and you get that really delicate floral essence, and you don't have any of that burn. There was some burn here when you put it through the nose. If you take a Diamond Crown, light it up, blow it out your nose, retrohale, you'll see what I'm talking about. It just doesn't make it at the nose, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Other than that, flavors were astounding. Throughout the entire cigar, just wonderful. Balance, perfect. Perfect balance. A mild cigar, but by no means mild in the flavor department. And big enough so that by the time you reach the end, you're satisfied. Complexity, 1. One of the most complex non-Cuban cigars, or even among Cuban cigars, that I've smoked as of late. Very, very complex. Just one layer of flavor under another. You know, like I said, you have this wonderful winey flavor at the top. You have these hints of vanilla and almond and this nuttiness at the center. Then under that, you have this underlying tangy Gouda type flavor throughout the whole cigar. Just fucking phenomenal. Now remember, this cigar has been subjected to some fairly long-term aging. Talking about almost 10 years in the cellophane, in the same humidor for a long time. Please do come back and join us for Cigar Review episode number 42, our final installment of our JC Newman brand history series, where we will review one more JC Newman cigar while we take the brand history into the 21st century up till present. And that should be a lot of fun. Say goodnight, Max.